All right, we're on to, I have these as different ones. I probably should just mix them together. 6 and 7, the Fourier effect and the Barnum effect. Fourier is named after a teacher. So what he did is he took, I believe he had like 32 students or something like that, and he basically just took things out of astrology books and stuff like that and created this sort of personality thing, or this paper based on them. And a lot of people said it was like absolutely spot on. That it said characteristics about him that were right, had deep knowledge of their personality and things like that. But really, he just took these sayings out of astrology books. Fourier effect is basically 1, authority, 2, favorable, and 3, detailed, just going into steps of how you do this. The Barnum, I normally call it just the Barnum effect. So this has been done several times. So one guy, he told people to put a watch or some jewelry in a bag, write down their date of birth and their favorite number in a bag, and then he would analyze it and come up with ideas looking at it from a sort of a psychic's mind looking at it. And when he gave it back to most of those people, it was like a 93% saying, yeah, that is me right on the dot. Now that's a high percentage. Some people, I think there was like one guy's like, yeah, it's like 50% right. But usually all it is just statements. Let's say you have a great need for other people to admire you. Well, that's pretty much everybody. It's pretty much everybody, but you're directing it to one person. It's like, yeah, that's true. Wow, this person really knows me. They really pay attention to me. You have a tendency to be critical of yourself. Most people are always critical of themselves. I know I am. I'm constantly critical on myself. I believe, one of the things is you have to be your biggest critic. I think that's a good way to go through life. Not too harsh though, but I think there's a good golden mean. There's other things like you have a great deal of unused capacity or potential. At times you are reserved and closed off, but sometimes you will open up and just talk to other people. So there's a lot of ways you can do this, and astrology books always sort of are very vague and not on, but yet it's something that everybody has and shares, which can be bad. There's quite a few bad things that can come out of this. Some of your aspirations tend to be pretty unrealistic. Yeah. I think most people have had desires to be super rich or super famous or super good at a sport or something like that, super good at driving, and they take these things, they just make them very unrealistic. Yeah, that goes to everybody. You could say security is one of your main goals in life. Yeah, security is everyone's main goal in life. This goes right into cold reading. People will throw things out and look for micro expressions on the face and stuff that gives you a rise out of you. So that's one thing when you have people who say they know the future and stuff like that, or it's sort of this loop of gullibility as well. It can go into somebody, let's say they have a propensity for believing in ghosts and stuff like that, and they bring over a person who does a seance and like, oh, we're gonna bring back your dad, and they throw out, oh, he was a hard worker. Yeah, he was a hard worker. He actually worked at this factory, and then the person might have done research. There's great YouTube clips of like these people getting found out, which are just fantastic. I think one of them, a lady, like they made up this person ended up making up this fake name, this fake person, and they ended up putting it on the internet. And they asked this person to come over, the psychic to come over and talk about it. And what's interesting is she started, saying stuff about that was in that article that they made up. And she's like, I'm sensing blah, 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 blah. And they went with her, but then at the end they're like, hey, we made this up. And just the face on the person was just hilarious. But yeah, the Barnum effect and the Forer effect are just very important things because it's very easy to get sucked in. You really have to take in perspective. And there's another great way of looking at it is that a lot of people are the same. We have the same fears, the same desires. They might be a little different in different ways of getting to them, but a lot of the times we are more alike than we are not alike. So yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about the Barnum effect. There's other names that go to it as well. The subjective validation. There's another one. There's the personal validation effect. There's a few terms for it, but I just call it the Barnum effect. It's just how I remembered it. But yeah, I mean, you should really, I would say definitely look at the just Barnum statements, like the things I was saying earlier, like you have a desirability to have security as one of your main goals in life. Those are all Barnum statements, and they're pretty interesting. But yeah.